What's good, everyone? This is AZN, and today you guys are watching my figure review on the Jada toys, Cammy from Street Fighter. Now, before I get into this review, there's one thing I want to point out. My microphone is currently not working right now. I don't know what's really going on. The audio just does not want to work on my microphone, so the audio is gonna sound weird because I'm using the microphone for my webcam to do this, because I really want to put out this review, and I was just suddenly in the mood to do it. So I had it for like the past week. I want to say like I got it around Saturday. That's all I remember. And this figure is really fun to pose around with. Now, I wouldn't say it's like the best Jada Toys Street Fighter figure that we got in the line, but I still think it's pretty damn good, especially for the price that you're getting it for. I think it's really high quality. Some high quality stuff going on still. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on too long. Let's get into the review. Alright, so real quick, let's take a look at the box here. We got the health bar logo, or the health bars. We have the classic arcade theme. I mean, you've seen it like thousands of times already, so that's nothing new. But what is new is obviously, Cammy's profile pic right there. We have Street Fighter 2, the Fighter Challengers, Cammy. On this side, or on the right side, we have like her origins and stuff like that, her special attacks, etc. And at the back, we got a picture of the figure itself, and also the whole entire roster. Almost all these characters either has been announced or currently being made or about to get released. So that's it about the box. Let's get right into the rest of the segments. For accessories, she has two action posing hands. What's interesting about this is that this one for the right is have her thumb like extended, and this one is almost like a karate chop, so I thought that was kind of interesting to share. So yeah, she has two sets of hands. She also has a alternative head, which is also her screaming face, which looks really nice, and also some alternative braids as well, so that can move. I wish these were articulated, but it is what it is. It still looks really good. She also has her kick effect piece, or like her kick attack. Can't remember the name of it at the moment, but this can just go on to like any side of her foot. So if you want it on the left and right, you can do that. My only complaint for this though is that it did not come with a stand like what we had with Chun-Li. I don't know if it was like a budget thing, or if they're gonna make a stand for this. I'm not really sure, but I think it would have definitely benefit if it did have a stand, so you can have her be put into those specific poses, but it still looks really cool nonetheless. And also, she does come with a backdrop, just like every other figure in this line. I was too lazy to take this off, but yeah, it comes with her stage. Taking a closer look at the figure, and she looks amazing. I really like what Jada did with Cammy here. Like, it was definitely like, this is probably the most amount of improvement that we've seen in this figure. Like, when the prototypes first came out, like she looked somewhat off, and they kept making those adjustments, and then over time she started to look more and more like the character. And yeah, they definitely improved her a lot. You can definitely tell they did a lot of tweaking on her. But yeah, anyway, so like the face sculpt looks pretty cool, or it looks pretty good. I know some people are complaining about this face especially because it doesn't really look like a neutral or a stoic face, because like she have like her lips puckering up there a little bit. But the face looks really good. I like both of the faces. Both of them are pretty on point. One issue I do have though is the paint on her leotard. There look like there's like some cracks in between. Hopefully once as she gets like re-released and like new modes are being made of her, that'll be less present in those. Also the camouflage on her legs looks really nice. The boots, well, they're just regular old boots. The braids are pretty well done. Now the most important part of the figure, well, important part is the cake test, and I say it's a fair amount. You know, I don't know how many collectors really care about this, to be honest, but if you're curious, they show a fair amount. It's not like a full-on thong like the, you know, play arts and figure arts. And I think this is like gaming accurate, because like, you know, there's some illustrations where she has the full-on wedge, and there's some illustrations that she doesn't look like she had the full-on wedge, so I can't really tell if this is really accurate or not. But anyway, I spend way too much time talking about this than I need to. But overall, this is a really good looking figure. Jada Toys, unsurprisingly, has killed it again. The coloring, the painting, the sculpting and all that is on point. Alright, scale wise, here she is standing next to the other Jada Toy Street Fighter figures I have in this line up until this point. We have Ken, Chun-Li, M. Bison, and also Ryu. And Cammy is slightly shorter than Chun-Li. She's about, I want to say 5.5 or something like that. So yeah, having all these figures together looks awesome. I know I am missing a few. I don't have Gal, I don't have DJ, and I don't have Dasim, at least not yet. I'm most likely not going to review those, but I'm most likely going to have pictures. But yeah, so far I'm really happy with the process that I've been making with this line. I'm just glad that I have Street Fighter figures, not only in this scale, in for how cheap or how affordable they are, but also how high quality they are too. Like, it's just, I don't know, it just feels great. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to some other scaling. And here she is standing next to some other waifus I got in my collection, such as the SH Figure Art Sakura, Figma Saber, Sagiri, who I recently just got, and the Figma Makoto. Articulation. While she doesn't have the most range, her articulation is still pretty good. So around the head, we can do like a 360, and her braids can also move side to side too. But you do want to be careful because they can pop off pretty easy. So yeah, just to warn you there. It can look up that much, she can look down that much, she can tilt side to side. Around the shoulders, like I already kind of said, it's not really a lot of range, but it's still pretty decent enough. It still feels somewhat limited to compared to other figures, but it's still pretty good. But anyway, we can do like a 360, got like a bicep swivel right there. We have double jointed arms. We have a wrist joint right there. Around the torso or the upper part, it can bend that far. It can bend that much forward. It can also tilt side to side. Can also do a 360 as well. And thanks to this crotch piece being soft, the legs don't really get in the way, or this piece doesn't really get in the way from her doing those high kicks and also those splits. She got a thigh swivel right there. We have double jointed legs or double jointed knees, and a calf. I believe that's what that's called. I don't know, guys. I'm dumb, but I believe this is a calf. So yeah, that can also move. The ankle has some good articulation as well. So yeah, this is still a really solid figure. You can really put her into some really cool pose, like any action pose. You can have her like in those gymnastic like poses that she often does in the game. And yeah, the posability is really good, especially around the legs. I feel like the legs is kind of putting a bit more work, since this seemed like it does have the most range compared to the arms. But you can really put in some really dope poses. So yeah, man, I'm really liking this figure a lot. It's really fun to pose around with. My final thoughts on this figure: it's a really fun figure to pose around with. There's a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there is a few minor issues I do have with the figure, but those complaints are very, very minimum. This is still a really damn good Cammy figure. If you're someone that missed out on both the Figuarts version and the Playarts Kai version, I don't think you'll be that disappointed with this one, honestly. Like, sure, the arms are somewhat limited, and the legs kind of do more heavy lifting when it gets into those dynamic poses. And there's no stand for the effect piece for some weird reason. And the braids do pop off a bit easy. It didn't happen in this review, thankfully, but it did happen a couple of times off camera. But aside from that, this is still a pretty strong release. I wouldn't say it's like the weakest release, but it's not like the most strongest release either. So I'm gonna give it about at least a 8 point, I don't know, about like an 8.4. Yeah, maybe like a 3 or 4. Like 8.3 or 4 out of 10. It's still a really solid figure. So yeah, I had to think about it for a bit, because like I still love this figure, but I feel like compared to the others, there are some limitations still. But if you can get past that, this is a really fun figure to have. And so yeah, and Jada, if you're watching this, can you guys please work on Darkstalkers now, please? I don't want to spend like $100 on the Storm Collectibles version. I want a line in this scale, please. Can you guys please make that happen? Thank you. But anyway, this has been AZN. Hope you all enjoyed this review, and I hope you all have a great and safe day. And I will be seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.